Okay, here is my claim. Velikovsky said that Earth was basically hit or almost hit by Venus, which caused a worldwide flood and a disaster and all that. It's very well understood what he explained, and every culture on Earth had basically the same story. I say this, which is the Grand Canyon, is highly likely the impact site. And I looked at it very carefully, and I claim that Venus, which would be much bigger than this, it would be the size of Earth almost, came down here with a lot of energy and started to discharge or suck energy or whatever. But what it did was it forced extra energy into here and then literally banged right into the surface here and then pushed all this stuff down and bounced off and came off. All right, so again, coming in with a big ball of energy, big energy, bam, and off it goes like this. And these are all uranium mines. You don't see them anywhere here. There's none, there's zero. Why? This was the energy that was forced in. Uranium is only, it's too heavy. It's way up on the periodic chart. There's too many particles. They're not supposed to be like that. That's why it decays. It falls apart because it's been crushed energy into it. And this all plays in with dipole electron flood theory as well. But my claim is that all of this was pushed down basically into Mexico. I'm going to show you on Google Earth why I make that claim. All right, this is basically exactly what we saw on those uranium mines. This thing, I think the exact spot where it started to make contact energetically was here. It could have been way out here, but its energetic field would have been started here. And it pushed a bunch of stuff and then actually slammed right into here, which is the Grand Canyon. And what did it do with the Grand Canyon? It took all that stuff and pushed it down into Mexico. I'm telling you, I'll show you, it came right through here, and I say it bounced right off the Grand Canyon here. The Grand Canyon, all the stuff is gone. Where'd it go? How could it be a Grand Canyon just being, all of a sudden the stuff just vanished? It got slammed and pushed down into Mexico. That's my claim. Okay, here's where it gets a little tricky. You have to follow what you're looking at, because in addition to being all crunched up and smashed up, this was at one time a creature's body, which means it would have had a surface over the top of itself, just like all bodies do. But when this thing came through, it just gouged and ripped right down to the guts. All right, and it pushed this stuff down this way. All right, so because it came in here, I think the impact area was right about here, and it finally hit right here, right, and it ripped right into the guts, and I mean red, bloody, red guts. These are guts. All right, now this is a huge canyon. Where did all that stuff go? Well, it went down here. And there it is right there. That's where that stuff got splashed down into here. So here it comes down, and it starts to get real close here, and bam! And all the stuff that it hit had to push down here. That's the only way you're going to get this huge, big canyon here. Where'd that stuff go? It went into Mexico. Now don't forget, these are the uranium mines. This is right where the impact site is. Where the densest part of the impact site would be, which forced all kinds of energy in there to make uranium, and it just doesn't exist anywhere else. You know, they can't find it. I don't know if it does or not doesn't, but this solves the whole situation of what happened to the Grand Canyon stuff. So it pushed and rippled it down, and then it made the impact right here where we're down literally into anatomical guts. Because over the top of this would have been a creature's body, and now that body has gone south. All right, it's all pushed and pushed down, all of that down here. Now, maybe Trump can ask for it back from Mexico. Hey, that came from the United States. We want it back. Anyway, things are not what we were told. And you know, all this stuff about honesty and truth, and it doesn't seem to matter when you rock somebody's boat so rocked, they just can't handle it. And that's what's happened right now. That's what's happened right now. And I think our feathered serpent buddy here, Quetzalcoatl, would agree with that. He's right here. His feathered headdress is right there. His beards are right here. The Mississippi River is his throat. He winds all the way up the East Coast. His organ system is down in this area here, which creates the mountainous region. His feathers run all the way up the East Coast and create the Green Mountains, which are green because of feathers. Feathers create green growth. They sell ground up feather meal. And here's his body, goes all the way up the East Coast. And here's his head. And he's spitting out into the Gulf of whatever you want to call it at this point. And here's his beards. You see those beards? They're pretty cool looking, huh? And it's exactly as he's portrayed. I mean, there's no difference whatsoever. And this green area here is his headdress. And I also think he was killed by a slam to the back of his head, creating all this runoff. And there he is, the East Coast. And everybody knows about Typhon and the fish. Right there. Typhon the dragon attacking Ares, the fish, who was also the god of war. Written about in Apollodorus 1.6.3. You read about it. They changed the gods, which is Ares is one of them, changed himself into a fish. And Typhon attacked. Typhon was the son, or was the offspring of Gaia, Earth, and Tartarus. They had intercourse and ended up with Typhon, who covers the whole north of Africa. You got Google Earth. You can come up and look at this. If you don't believe me, well, that's good for you. That's all I can say. Now, so we got the impact site here. We got the Grand Canyon. Had to spit its stuff somewhere. And here's where it is right there. And that right there, my friends, I'm going to show you some details of what's in here, like Vermilion Cliffs and, I mean, there's stomach tissue. There's all. It's all in here. And when you see these different colors, those are different secretions. You see that? This could be a stomach area or whatever. They're going to have different chemistry because you're down inside the guts of the creature. Not like the rest of the country. The rest of the country just sort of bland looking. Not here. And that is pow. Just like a bulldozer. Popped and went away. Now, then it went around and it hit Mars and tore Mars to shreds. Mars has that Valerianus Trench. It's wider than the whole United States. And it's deep. and it destroyed Mars. Mars has no atmosphere, no magnetic fields, no nothing. And that was designed. Venus was designed to do this. I believe what this says in the ancient myth. And it was sent by Jupiter to destroy everything on Earth, primarily, wipe it out. And then it bounced off and it hit Mars and it wiped Mars completely out.